Nice,
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
And so what would you say is one challenge that you faced during your whole music career so far?
Having a mental breakdown, yeah.
Wow. Talk
Yeah.
about that.
So around 2006, I had a breakdown. You know, my parents broke up, and there was things that was going on in the household, and I didn't know how to process the information or what was going on around me.
Okay.
And you know, back then, it's not like now. People are very vocal about mental health.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't really, back then didn't talk about it. And yeah, I just didn't really talk about it.
And like, was it like depression?
Yeah.
Anxiety, that kind of thing?
It started with anxiety, but just say you don't even know you got anxiety.
At that point, you don't know. Yeah. You don't know what
just,
you have in it. It's
like
just,
I said, it's just because you've not experienced it before, so you don't actually know what's going on.
Yeah.
So I've actually had mental health twice. 2006 is when it first happened. 2012 was when it was really just took off.
It took off. It took a turn for the worst in that case.
Yeah.
What kind of triggered that one in 2012? Because the 2006 one was your parents.
Yeah.
Separating, and then in 2012, what kind of brought that on?
I think it was the pressures of life, the world, getting to a certain age, scared of. I think when you're like going on like 27, going on 30, there's this thing in you that's fear, like you ain't achieved what you thought you wanted to achieve, and you're not where you want to be in life, and you got these high expectations as an artist that you want to blow up, you want to do this, you want to do that, and it doesn't happen. And then the pressures of the world where things were, it just took a standstill. And yeah, man. So yeah, I was sectioned twice.
Section, okay.
Yeah. So,
Talk us through that experience if you can.
Yeah. No doubt.
Yeah,
man.
like how was that? Being sectioned. Obviously it wasn't good, but how was it for you? How did you feel? What was going through your mind at that time?
Oh man, it was crazy. I didn't know where I was, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't know where I was. Like, it's like, I think most people who've had mental health experiences, some people have schizophrenia, or some people have psychosis. Mine was psychosis.
Psychosis, okay.
So, like, I've actually got songs that I've written that I'm going to be releasing later on in the year where I talk about all of that.
About your situation you've been through.
Yeah. So, I went through hallucinations, hearing voices, just constantly stressed.
All the time you was in the institution as well at this point?
Okay, so before I went to the institution.
Before, so okay, so that was like building up to it?
That was building up.
Okay,
I didn't know what was happening.
You didn't know what was happening, yeah.
And it's like...
So at what point did you realise, like, you need help, basically, or did someone else point that out to you?
My brother.
Your brother, okay.
My little brother. Well, he's not little anymore, but...
Yeah. By that time,
Yeah.
So, how did that come about? Like, what did he say?
So I was in the house, I was in the flat with my mum and my brother, and then he started doing research, and he was like, "Nah, something ain't right. The way I'm sort of acting up." And then, obviously he mentioned the word mental health, and I flipped.
You flipped, like how you're angry at him, or?
Not at him, but angry
at the situation, like.
Because the first thing, some people are uneducated about mental health. When people hear that, first thing they hear is, "Oh, that person's mad."
Okay, so the stigma.
So the first thing I heard was like, in my head was like, yeah, it means I'm mad. I'm not mad. I'm fighting it. So to cut a story short, I went out the yard one time because I was hearing voices, and whatever the voice would tell me, I would do that. I would go out the yard, and my brother would just come and get me straight away and bring me back to the yard. Yeah. And the next day, they had to do what they had to do as a family too.
In that, going through that situation of being hospitalized, did you find that it helped you get through your mental health? Yeah,
it did, but I feel like there's two sides to it.
Cool.
So the first side is when you're going through that stuff, you go through a process of forgetting a lot of things.
Wow, in what sense?
In the sense of you sort of forget who you are, forget who you was. You're going through some people call it chemical imbalance in your brain, and some things make sense to you,
And some things don't.
and to other people it doesn't make sense.
Right.
So you say things that to you it makes sense, but to everyone else it doesn't.
Yeah.
And I would say that looking back at it now, yeah, it definitely everything happens for a reason.
Yeah,
This version of me would not exist if I didn't go through what I went through. I'm hoping that obviously my story helps others, and you know what I mean.
Yeah, 100%, man.
I went through moments where I had suicidal thoughts as well.
Wow, how did you deal with that?
Oh man, that's crazy, because now that I think about it, 2006 I had suicidal thoughts, but I didn't attempt to do it. I think I've naturally from young I've just had a strong mind.
Yeah.
I've had the mindset of I don't do things for the sake of doing things,
Right.
and I think through things. I'm like, some things don't make sense to me.
Nah.
Like my whole
Because it will cause more pain for the people that are,
Exactly, wow.
left behind from
Exactly.
that kind of thing. So
100%. So my thing was like, I've got a lot more to do on this earth. There's things I want to do. There's people that look up to me. There's people that love me. There's people, and then there's people that doubt me as well. I want to prove them wrong as well. And so it was like, I went through that in 2006, and it's funny because I've never spoken about that before. It's only until we have these type of conversations. And then 2012/2013, I had suicidal thoughts again. And yeah, it was a challenging one, man. I think when I think about it, I did have a very serious moment where it was constantly on my mind.
wow, just like constantly when you wake up, throughout your days.
Because I was in a hostel, like a YMCA.
Right. Yeah.
And then the window, literally just looking out the window. But then I'm like, no, why would I want to do that?
Like you said, your people are looking up to you, your family, and even the people that doubt you as well.
Exactly. And then all the challenges I've been in my life, I feel like, nah. And then it's like, my biggest passion is music, man. I love music.
Yeah.
And not only do I love music, I feel like I'm on this earth to make a difference in people's lives. I'm also trying to put something out there that people can look at and say, Raj, you know what, he went through all of that, and
he's still staying strong here today.
Yeah. So my thing is young, old, fat, slim, homeless, rich, all human, innit? I just think my story will hopefully touch others.